Greetings, people. I come in peace. How would Martin Bakole do against Usyk? He's been talking a good game. He's supposed to be a monster in sparring. He's a handful in the ring, as Jared Anderson can attest and affirm. Bakole has deceptive pace on his punches. He's not super quick, but he has decent enough velocity and acceleration, and he throws really good combinations in an unpredictable way. At one stage, Bakole threw 7 right hands in a row on target. Yet, because his feet are not the quickest, you have to be right in front of him, enticing him to let off his salvos. That's why I wouldn't fancy his chances against Usyk. He's all wrong for him. Jared, out of naivety, contempt, or bravery, stood in front of Martin for too long. An obvious no-no with a bigger, stronger boxer who has power and a good punch selection. If you watch the Michael Hunter and Martin Bakole fight, you'll see how Hunter broke him down. Hunter did show a good chin and sometimes stood toe-to-toe with Martin, which was risking it, but showed you his heart, ringcraft and determination. Usyk has all those abilities I just mentioned in spades. Martin is imbued and absorbed with his own aroma right now. He's been identified as a force to be reckoned with. He's been calling out everybody, AJ, Dubois, Usyk, and he hasn't fought and beaten Efe Ajagba yet, the fighter he is penciled in to fight next. I fancy Bakole to beat Ajagba. I think less fleet-footed fighters are vulnerable to Bakole. But it's not good manners. It's not a good precursor to talk about what you're going to do with your dessert, pudding, afters, before you even started on your entrée. Martin Bakole usually weighs in between 260 pounds and 300 pounds. Lately, he's been at the top end of that graft, just under 300 pounds for the Takam fight and 285 pounds for the Jared Anderson bout. Funny enough, Bakole was very light, for him anyway, at 256 pounds when he lost to Michael Hunter, due in part because of his poor gas tank. Hunter has even said he'd beat him easier now because Martin is bigger and moves less.
If you were to fight Martin Bakole again in a rematch, would you stick with the same game plan or would you do something different seeing that he's improved?
No, I think the same game plan will work because he's a little bit bigger now. He's gained more weight, and he moves a lot less. Actually, I think he would be better when I fought him.
So you think if you fought Bakole, you believe that it would be easier this time around than it was the first time?
Absolutely, I think so. Just because
he was a bit cumbersome against Jared Anderson and looked to time him, which he did at the end of the first round. But until that point, Jared was very comfortable in there, maybe too comfortable. In the second round, Jared jabbed Martin's head off, but the earlier knockdown took something out of his legs and he wasn't able to sustain the required motion, the movement, the activity to stay out of danger. I think Anderson put up a good fight until he was stopped. I thought he outclassed Bakole at times, but due to his willingness to stay in the pocket too long, taking too much debilitating hits, by the 5th round, he was backed up and taken out. Bakole is a strong, powerful, George Foreman type fighter, but he tends to run out of gas late, and now he's heavier and not very active. Keeping in mind he doesn't have the quickest feet, he's ripe to be exploited by a certain type of fighter. Usyk would be rubbing his hands together if he had to fight Bakole next. I wouldn't fancy Bakole against a fighter like Ajek Kabayel, Usyk, Hunter, but he'd pose more of an impediment, dilemma, a hazard for fighters like Ajagba, Dubois, Zhang, Herkovich, or a Wardley, fighters you don't have to look too hard to find. If you have good movement, good stamina, good chin, you'll give Bakole a headache, plenty of problems. There's a reason why he wouldn't rematch Michael Hunter. Anyway, just my thoughts. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. But remember, choose life. Thank you.
I think positive always. I believe I can do anything, and boxing's been it is my business, and it's been my business. I don't know all the answers, but I'm the greatest authority in the world on Sugar Ray Robinson. and I have some idea on just what he can do and what he